All right, you guys, what's up? Welcome to Talking Cardboard Live. I'm John. That's Joan. We're 100% obsessed with the hobby. No industry glaze, just real talk about ripping packs, chasing grails, trading at shows, and geeking out over cardboard. Vintage, modern, Hall of Fame prospects, whatever your PC is, we're here for it all. And that kid in a candy store kind of feeling. Y'all ready? Let's rip into it. This is Talking Cardboard Live, episode 15. Joe, 15. How's it going? How's it going, brother?
Going well, man. It's going well. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. It has been a week and a half. TKS, what's up, Keith? Yeah. So, life happens, and we weren't here last weekend. Apologize for that. Or last week, apologize for that. But, life sometimes, and we got to adapt to it. So
that is absolutely true. So true, man. So true. What's up, Alan? I see you there, too. Welcome to the show, everybody. And it's been an action-packed little week. Over the weekend, I went to the National, which is the big card show that happens here in the Nashville area 3 times a year. They do it in February, June, and then October, I think is when it happens. But it's, I would argue it's probably the biggest show in the country. I mean, tables-wise, it's massive, like 1,600 tables. This last one, they sold out the entire show, 1,600 freaking tables. That's a lot of tables, right?
That is a lot of tables.
It's a lot of tables, and not a lot of, I would say too, it's not a lot of fluff either. It's just a lot of dealers. Like they don't have a huge thing set aside for people signing autographs or, anything crazy outside of that, any experience outside of just like cards. There was some TCG stuff. But, it was a good 1,000 tables of sports cards. And what a fun time to just go flying around. It's cool, too, when you start to – and we're going to be talking about this in our topic today. But, I think after a while you start to become known in a scene, and then you're just kind of running into friends of yours all the time. And it's a pretty amazing thing. So I don't know. It felt a little bit like, to me, like the NAMM conference, which is a big music conference that I've gone to a few times. And, you just keep running into people that you're just like, hey, I haven't seen you in a year. What have you been up to? You get caught up in things like that. It starts to feel like that more and more. I've only been really heavily in the card world for like a year here as a seller. So it's already noticing like it's fun. So anyways, we're going to seg into our topic for today, which is I had a good time. I brought home more cards and spent a lot of money and sold a lot of stuff, and I'm not actually set up at the next one, I think. So I'm excited. It actually inspired me to actually go get a table next time. So I'm going to do that with some of my friends.
You have to actually be at your table though if you set up a table, John.
Nope. You sure don't. Except for me. But anyways, glad everybody's here. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking today about building your sports card community. And, this topic is something that we were talking before the show started. We have a little different, kind of origins in terms of our relationships to the hobby and how we kind of started building our connections and our network. When we're talking about building your community, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at that. You can look at that from the perspective of as a buyer, as like a collector, you build out the people and make the connections in the industry that help you to get the cards that you want to have for your collection, which that's a thing. Build up your community of people that are out there looking for the stuff that you want. And they hook you up, they give you deals, things like that. Those types of things can happen. But also as a seller, you can build up a community of followers, customers who become friends. And then you're also working with the other dealers and sellers to procure cards. And then you also build relationships with people who are collectors who just want to sell you stuff too. So there's all different kinds of ways in which you can build out a team and build out a community. And that's what we're going to explore today, is just talking about how to build your sports card community. What would you say, like, Joe, in your experience in the industry, why is it important to build out a community in the way in which you find valuable in the industry?
I think it's important in many aspects of life to build out a community or to find your tribe of people. Community lends support. Augie's popping in. He knows something about that. Went through a tornado in Illinois last week and lost his entire card collection just a week ago. But he's part of my community, and there's been a bunch of people reaching out to support him, supporting not just in cards, but also in personal life. People go through troubles, stuff like that. People raising money for other people chipping in, saying, "Hey, what can I do? Hey, if you need to talk, call me." You know, sourcing cards and having people in your community that will provide cards, or as a card seller, people that are looking for certain cards that of, that you then sort of curate a card pickup for them. So say, I know Augie, for instance, I'll use him as another example again, but he's a big Cubs collector. If I know that he's looking for, say, a Ron Santo card, and I see a Ron Santo card at a show, I'm probably gonna just pick it up and contact him and be like, "Hey, check this out. I found this for you. Would you be interested?" So, community, it all comes down to support in my mind. Whether it's support through, cards that I'm interested in purchasing to then potentially either build my collection or resell, or cards that I'm looking to sell to somebody to help them build their collection, or cards that they can then use to resell, or just, lending that support, being there for somebody. A lot of people, the biggest complaint in their life is loneliness. So, the having a community of people around a common theme or around a common interest prevents that loneliness from happening. It allows interaction, it allows for engagement and communication stuff. So I don't know. It's that's kind of where I am. Support, I think, is the word that I would use to describe the benefit of all of it. What about you?
Yeah, well, I think you bring up a lot of great points, a lot of the things that I value as well when it comes to building out a community. And, it can be a really disconnected, lonely existence, especially as we age. We get kind of settled in our ways, and there's things that we don't. And also there's this like kind of, I don't really need anybody, or things like that. But it's really good. And I will say one thing about the hobby is, as a guy, it's really cool to just. I know there's plenty of women out there who enjoy the hobby, and I. All the power to you. It's just really cool to just be around bros for a weekend for the most part, and geek out over cardboard. It's like it's one of those places where it's just like you can go and kind of just be a guy and talk trash about sports. And for me anyways, it's one of those places where I can get that outlet and have a good time, crack some jokes, maybe some not totally appropriate ones too at times, just have a little fun, not take things so freaking seriously. I could count on one hand the number of comments where anybody said anything political the whole weekend I was at that card show, and that's the thing I love about it. It's like we're not focused on that. And it's really, that's a big part of it for me, is just like it's a place of belonging. It's also, the thing is, when you have a platform of any kind, your platform could be any number of things. You could be the big boss who walks into the card show with like a stack of $100 bills, and you're the man on the town. You're the man who's going in to make you're the man walking in to make the purchases. Or you could just be like, you could be a dealer who's always there, and you have your booth that you've had for like the last 20 years there's a card show here in the Nashville area that's been going on for 25 years. And this guy has had the same spot at that show for like 20 freaking years. And it's just like, so, if you have a seat at the table, you can have a Whatnot channel like I've got, or like you've got, and if you've got that thing where you are in a position of authority of any kind, or you have some type of, in a way, like a leadership role in the industry, it can be really fun to I think build the right environment and bring the things that you feel are important in terms of values to what you want to create, and that will attract the people that you want to hang out with. And the things that, the kind of environment where, and I try to do this. I just try to be honest. I try to do the best I can to be honest about things. I try to do the best I can to not take things too damn seriously. I try not to get too intense with things. And, I think it attracts like-minded people who are looking for the same thing. which they can seem to find that on Whatnot in my streams, which there's not a lot of people who are more on the relaxed side there. There's a lot of people who yell, and it's very annoying to a lot of people. Some people like those shows. I don't really like them too much, but I think that's the thing too. There's a little bit, you can build whatever community you want to build, you can build it. And there's probably going to be some folks that if you're that type, you're that super aggressive, yell at the screen kind of person. There's probably people that are wanting to get whipped into shape and up into a frenzy about what it is that you're yelling about. So, there's that as well. There's that side of community. Not to say that those folks don't contribute. There's people who get entertained by that. At the end of the day, like Whatnot is just entertainment to a certain extent. So I think you can build your own entertainment empire in a way, or you can create a community that tries to help each other, like so many folks have. I've certainly helped out with like rating benefit streams and things like that. And I haven't really hosted any benefit streams myself, but I see a lot of that stuff happening, and I'm always like, supportive of that. So I think there's a lot of ways in which community can help people to find each other that need each other's help, but also, so there's many ways in which that can happen. And then there's the responsibility you have, I think, as a leader in a community, if you are a leader in a community, to have the types of values, set your values, and try to stick by them. And I think if you do that, the people that you need in order to succeed in the industry are going to find you, and they're going to, I have friends that I'm pretty sure at this point are going to be lifelong friends that I've already made in the year that I've been doing this, in terms of just being a seller on Whatnot, and being a member of the card collecting community here in Nashville. I feel like I'm a good, I think people tend to smile when they see me coming their way, so I try to be that person. If I can always be that person where people greet me, and it's like, I know I'm doing right when people are like, greeting me before I even get to their table. You
see people that walk up and the collective table just groans like, oh, this guy again. Dude, you know what I'm talking about, though. I'm serious. And you brought up the benefit streams, and I've run probably almost a dozen benefit streams at this point. I do it for StopSoldierSuicide.org. Which has galvanized a solid veteran community on Whatnot for sure. I post the Veteran Crisis Hotline on every stream for the last 2+ years, and the thing that has brought about is, there's a solid support community of veterans that come into my shows and that I've now been engaged with outside of my shows, and there's a lot of benefit to that. Not just within the veteran community, but like I was talking about before, people crave that connection, and if you've got a similar interest, and you can connect on a Mike Trout card, or an Aaron Judge card, or a Shohei card, or a Dale Earnhardt Jr. card, whatever it is, whatever your interests are, if you can connect over that as a central connection point, I think that's a benefit to people.
Definitely. And then Augie drops in, you don't consider being successful in how many cards you sell, but how many people smile and enjoy your company with one thing in common. I think that's great, and I think that I find that those things aren't necessarily they aren't exclusive. If you create an environment where people enjoy your company, people will buy from you. They'll sometimes pay more for a card because they like you as a person and they want to support you. Like I think for sure some of the cards that I sell, sometimes people are buying it just because they like the look of the card. They're maybe overpaying a little bit for it, but they enjoy being a part of the regular member of the stream. And I think that's something that I think, again, who you get a card from also matters. I think because a card could be a story, right? And part of that story is who you buy the card from. So if there's a card that you really like, sometimes it might be you saw it at Joe's table, and I was like, oh man, I remember when I saw that card at Joe's table. Joe's a good dude. He gave me a cool deal on this, and I'm going to hold on to this because, there's other cards I could sell or, put in my case that's in the living room where everybody sees it. But the one that I'm going to pick to put out in front of everybody is the one that I bought from Joe because, he's a good dude. And I had a good experience buying from him. And, I think cards can be like that too. I certainly have cards up on my shelves that are not my most expensive cards. I
sure.
like it, or I like the person who I got it from. It reminds me of something, reminds me of my grandfather, the games we used to watch together. It might be a player that like we were both like so angry with, because like they used to strike out all the time. Things like that. So still waiting on the Johnny Deals 101. That's funny. Yeah. Who knows? We'll see if we make a card. We'll see if we get a card made. I don't know. Augie still has yet to hit the Joe Bo auto. Well, probably on the way.
I'll make that happen, Augie.
We'll get that going. So yeah, I think in terms of community, I think, maybe we could seg this because we've talked about like the different things that are valuable about being a part of a community, building up a community, becoming known in a community. But maybe like we could start from something where maybe our own experiences with building a community on like the Whatnot app, since we have that in common. I think that might be something that people who are tuning in and just kind of randomly checking this out might be, they might be thinking, well, how do I build a community when I have no idea I'm barely figuring out how to get the show running and all that stuff. It's like, how do I get going with, especially we take for granted the amazing card scenes that we live in. Not everybody has that luxury. And some people are doing this from the middle of nowhere where there's maybe a card show every couple of months or something like that. So, with that in mind, what would you say are the most important things when you're starting to build your presence, starting to build your show, hopefully attract new members to your community that you're trying to create?
Consistency, certainly consistency. You've got to be available at largely the same times so that people can look forward to it and plan for it. Honesty and personality, I feel, go hand in hand. You can go on some Whatnot streams and within 30 seconds, you can tell how full of bull somebody is by listening to them. And, I just swipe up at that or move on to the next one, whatever, if I'm scrolling at that point. But honesty and personality, for sure, you have to give something of yourself, your own honest personality, or else you come across as a fake or a fraud. And if you come across as a fraud, you've already lost your room, because nobody is going to believe that what you're putting up there, this is a great gem mint card. No, it's actually a crap banged around POS card that you've handled in the light just perfectly to mask all the imperfections. That, you know what I'm talking about as far as that goes. And, follow through. If you say you're going to do something to make a deal, you have to make that deal. I have posted cards at shows before, for way less than I anticipated doing so for. But, if I post a $40 card with a $4 sticker on it, I've done that once, and I've done a $25 card for $5 before, and I've sold one for $4 and sold one for $5. I'm not, I didn't mean to mark that. That's, if it's posted for a certain price, I sell it for that price. So people know if they come on my stream, one, I'm going to be honest with them. Two, they're going to get good quality because I'm being honest with them. Three, they're going to know a little something more about me at the end of that show than they did probably before the show started. And four, what I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. I'm going to follow through with. I'm not going to cancel. I'm not going to make a deal and make a sale and then cancel the sale on the back end because, this didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. Well, I should have planned better. And if I didn't want to run this $50 card at a $3 start, so it sells for $6, I shouldn't have run that $50 card at $3 and sold at $6. So we've seen all that stuff like that. We've talked about that offline about that, John. And it's just, that's the cringy stuff that goes on sometimes on that app. And it's just like, I don't know how these people still have people in the rooms, but they do.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
What do you feel are the cornerstones of your community building, I guess, strategy? Or
I think, for me, when I was first starting out, I didn't really know anybody on the app, and I was just trying to get to know everybody. It's like taking interest in people. I think that's one thing that will set you aside from 99% of the people that are out there trying to sell, is like, if you just take the time to get to know the people in your room. Like, I've started plenty of conversations with people just based off of their avatar. Like, you'll see somebody with like a Ken Griffey Jr. avatar. You'll be like, I freaking love the kid, check out this bubblegum card. I'm not trying to sell them the card. I'm just like, hey, I see you, like, or I'll just crack jokes all the time about people's screen names and things like that.
Sure.
Some people's screen names just crack me up. Like, they're hilarious. I'm like, well, I can't even read that out loud. I don't know how you got that past the system there, but I can't read that out loud. But yeah, I think it goes back to like, and Alpha is dropping in, just be a human, it's like, and I think that's what you were talking about. It's just like being yourself. I think one of the things that I've learned, and maybe this is something you just learn as you age, I'm starting to get older now, is that the more you're yourself, the better it's going to come across. The more you're yourself, the more people get to actually see the real you, and they get to experience, perhaps some type of reflection of themselves. That and I think the people that stick around on my shows, they probably see something of themselves in what it is that I'm doing. Or there's other things too. They might not have anything in common with me, but I think you're right. Setting a consistent place for people to come and hang out. Like, I try to run my shows Monday through Friday, 6:15 a.m. Central Standard Time every morning on Monday through Friday. And I try to be that drive time entertainment for them, where it's just chill. They're not getting yelled at. They hear some cool country music. And, that's the jam. And if you do that consistently, people know where they can find you. Then I think the other thing with building community is value. Value can come in a lot of different places. It can come from your expertise that you're sharing with people. I think as a collector, you get to a certain place. Like, there are so many cards where, like, I know the card, like, because I've seen it a million times before, and maybe somebody else hasn't, and I can tell them a little bit about it. And then I can, say things like, this is pretty cool. I've never seen this before. So it kind of can cue people. Well, this is not something you usually see all the time, because I've seen, like, I go through like thousands of cards every single weekend, and probably even more than that on some weekends. And, so it's like, I know a thing or two about that. So, or I know a cool piece of trivia about a player, because I have some memory from like 10 years ago about this player that somebody else doesn't know. So whether you're sharing your actual expertise, or the value could just come from, like, you're selling really good cards that people want. So I think that's another thing that really helps too, with building a community, is being somebody who brings the goods. Like, if you have the goods, then people will want to stick around to see more of the goods. So I think that's another thing. Integrity is also important. Like you said, be a person of your word. Don't cancel orders just because you didn't get, what you were hoping to get for something, because that's a good way, first off, to get yourself kicked off the platform. But it's also just a way to kind of make yourself that they'll never buy from you again. No, and they'll probably tell their friends not to buy from you. It's a small world in a way, it's a small world in a way. I tell you one thing, somebody finds out about, like, somebody stealing from somebody's table, like, in the Nashville scene. I know a couple of those people because they've been pointed out to me by other dealers. And it's like, we all know to look out for these people, So it's like, you will, or if you're just a scumbag, you make bad deals, you get a bad reputation, people are going to find out. And it's a small world in a way. And then the other thing that I wanted to say was just, like, communication, be communicative. I could probably be better at this myself. Like, letting people know that I have a show coming up. I don't really send a lot of messages or things like that to people. I could probably do a better job on social media, kind of like hyping up what it is that I'm doing, or just letting people know. I don't even think it's so much hyping it up for me. It's just like, I think it'd be better if I did a little bit better job of just communicating to the people that already like me that, hey, I have a show going on. Hey, I just picked up these cards, but it's a little tough when you're a one-man crew and you're kind of doing it all yourself. But I think that's one of the things too, when you're first starting out, that's like, that might help you out. Actually, like, that might help you get that going, is if you're good at social media, to kind of build up your platform a little bit that way. And then maybe use that as a way to get people into your shows could be cool.
Like you said, with communication, though, listening is also important, I feel like, because, I don't know everything about all the cards that I sell. There are people on my streams that, there are 5,000 different prisms and another 1,900 different refractors, and I don't know what the hell they all are. So occasionally I'll be like, I don't know what in the heck this is. If anybody has, please throw it in the chat so I can learn too. And I got folks in there. So I'm thinking that Alpha DJ is Justin Rink. He is a younger fella. He knows most of the refract. He'll pop in and be like, oh, that's so-and-so, so-and-so, and so. Well, I'm glad somebody knows, because I'm too old to keep up with all that damn crap. And I don't have the capacity to do all that. So I do listen to those, and folks open up about stuff, and so you get personal insights into people, and like Alan, or Pizzle, or Kai J, these folks and stuff. They're just, you get some personal insight into these folks, and you get to know them a little more. It becomes more personal than it does business.
Yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of ways that you can get I was like trying to beat the whatnot mute. Actually, there's a lot of people get blocked on my stream for various reasons. It's just annoying. If somebody's gonna like self-promote their stuff without even asking me or things like that, I just like, it's whatever. It's like, I also realize it's probably just a bot, but like, most of the time it's probably just a bot that like automatically sends the message out to like as many streams as possible. So it's not a big deal, but whatever.
Kick them.
You got to kick the people that you can't. I didn't even know there was a mute option. I suppose you could mute people and then, they could still bid on your stuff. But if somebody's super annoying, would I want them buying from me? Probably not. They're probably going to be the person who makes a complaint or things like that. New name, Johnny Blocks. Yeah. Actually, I think I'm probably in the top 5% of people who have blocks on the app. I probably blocked like, I would guess I'm probably in the top 5% as far as like the number, the size of my block list. And I think some of it has to do with like, I just don't want to like see breaking shows at all, like on my algorithm. So I just block a bunch of that stuff. And I've had a couple of times where people are like, hey, you're Nashville Cards. How are you? And then you exchange information. I'm like, oh shit, I blocked this person.
Dude, I've had people that I've been dealing with for a year and a half in my streams, and I've rated you, and they've been like, they've immediately messaged me like, dude, I couldn't get on the raid. I think you must have blocked me. I've actually contacted you about a couple. Hey, we unblock this dude. He's trying to buy cards from you.
Yeah, no, it's like,
go back. You must have been annoying at some point.
I think that's, for me, like the bar is kind of low. But it's okay. It's not personal. Like if anybody reaches out to me, I'll figure out a way to unblock it. I've had people reach out to me and it's like, cause honestly, like I don't remember, I'm not going to remember why I blocked you. Like I also have a group, there's a Discord I'm a part of where we're like trading information and sometimes we're like, oh, this person's like, trying to scam or things like that. So, I'm not saying any of the people you were trying to send over were scamming or anything like that. They were probably just like said something annoying or they could have just been running a break and I just didn't want to see it at the moment. But anyways, little side tangent there. It's like, but here's the thing is like, you get to run your business. That's the great thing about owning a business. You get to run the business however you see fit. And also it's like, it's just fun to me. It's like, well, I don't have to be around people that are, saying disparaging. Actually, there's a lot of people who say disparaging stuff too, that I just kick them out, Oh
yeah.
Like,
you drop a slur or something like that, I must think you're gone.
Well,
a lot of my folks will go in your DM and bomb you out and then come back.
Yeah. But I mean, people will do that kind of crap, but then there's also people that'll get mad because they didn't win a card for super cheap and they'll tell somebody they overpaid for it or things like that. And it's like, that's just annoying. It's like, dude, like, take your gripe somewhere else. You shouldn't be making somebody feel bad about the purchase they made. It's just, it is what it is. I'm not just a scammer, just a givey goblin. When's the givey? Alan's not a givey goblin. He's
not even close.
He's a very selfless person. Alan's like one of the most selfless guys on the app. And I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. He's Alan's been Alan collects cards on whatnot. He's been one of my mods since almost the very beginning of streaming about a year ago on the app. So it's been really cool. It's been really cool. I think that is about as high a compliment as I can get as a community leader on whatnot. Is I have people that have been with me since the beginning and have been loyal and cool as hell. And I'm just really grateful for it. That's the real gift that comes from putting the time and effort in, being consistent, being honest, being yourself and just having fun with it, is that you will make friends along the way. Joe, we became friends along the way. I don't know if I stumbled onto one of your shows or you stumbled into mine, I can't even remember. But like, I think at one point I was like, man, this dude's got a radio voice. We've
been friends since last fall. We've been friends for 9 months or so. Hey,
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Was on my first stream ever 2 years ago, and he's modded for me since literally a year and 9 months, and now hell, he's a personal friend. He talks. My wife and I talk to him. He's a personal friend at this point. He's not just part of my community. He's a friend. Close friends.
That's the thing. You become friends, and there's people in the local card scene that I'll go. They'll hear about like some deal that's happening, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come check this out?" You know, they'll get you in on things, and that's the thing too. It's like when you start to build that community, it's like you're all looking out for each other, not only on like the card business kind of stuff and opportunities or things like that. You know, they'll also look out for you if you need a hand. You know. Yeah. Help you move, whatever. I mean, I know a couple guys would probably help me move if I asked them to. They, you know, it's like because I know for a fact I'd help them out. You know, it's like
that's true community in my mind. I mean, that's outside of the car. That's just true community. That's finding your tribe, knowing your people, and you know you're there for each other. Not just it's not a one directional relationship. It's a bi-directional relationship.
Yeah. Well,
is what community means.
And somebody was talking about this earlier that, you know, maybe it's all like the whole low balling thing, or I think that's a mentality that some people can have. And it's like the people that are just takers. Like, you know, I think that's another thing I would say too, is if you're just a taker in the card world, that's not going to get you very far.
No,
it's going to make you, people are not going to want to do business with you. They'll think that like interacting with you is like trying to squeeze blood from a rock or something like that. You know, it's like, it's not pleasant, you know? So I think that's the thing, is like, not every deal is the easiest deal to make. You know, sometimes you got to fight for the deal you want to make. And I've had plenty of good like standoffs with people. It's actually fun. I've been trying to practice it more, like being a little bit more firm with like what it is that I'm trying to do in a deal, and you know, play around with that edge a little bit. But I think that's part of the fun of it, is you can, you know, if you're amongst friends, you can have a conversation about it and be really super respectful. And as long as there's give and take, you know, again, if you're not just take, there's plenty of folks where it's like, I'll buy cards from them and they give me a good deal on something. They come to my table. If I don't give them a deal on something, like, they're going to remember that. They're going to remember that. And so I've really made it a point to, like, you know, the dealers that I buy from, I take a case to them. I'm like, hey, you want anything out of this? You know, I'm going to hook them up with a deal, you know, versus like trying to sell them at like barely under comps or something like that, you know, because it's like you have to remember who it is that you're working with. They're giving you a deal where you can make a little bit of money off of it. If you're selling to them, you gotta do the same. There has to be some back and forth. Otherwise, again, it's just like you're the, hey, give me all the deals, you know? And I guess if they have a bunch of stuff they really need to get rid of, maybe they'll hit you up, but you know, they're not going to consider you like somebody that is super cool and they want to do a ton of business with, I don't think.
No, and to Augie's point, the Collects is an app where it's a direct sales app, and you can put deals together and then make offers. These folks will put together 5-6 cards, and the collective value will be $60, and they'll put in a $22 offer.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, reject, see yourself to the left. I'd see yourself. I mean, I've even put in my profile, except I will consider reasonable offers, and I'll literally comment or message these folks. I'd be like, not a reasonable offer. Next. And we'll just leave it at that. And some of them they get a little butthurt over it. Well, you know, I mean, am I going to sell you $80 worth of cards for $22? Was born during the day, but not yesterday. I don't think so. Not going to source at 65 to 75 to 80% and then sell for 25%. That's a losing. I mean, at that point, I'm losing my tail.
I mean, how desperate are you, Joe? It's like, I think that's what these folks are doing, is like they're trying to find people that are, or kids that need a couple bucks to open a pack or something like that. You know, I think that's what they're looking for.
And if you're buying a 5,000 count bulk of base, you know, of a 5,000 count box of bulk base, yes, I'm going to give it to you dirt cheap because I want to get rid of it. You know, hey, 6 points. Johnny Parkey's over here.
Hey, that's a strong offer. Though, was that like 40% of comps or something like that? 40%, more than 40%. 44%,
right?
Or something. I don't
know. That's all. And this guy, Johnny, he works offshore and does rips and that kind of stuff. And this guy Hammer makes videos about his recent lowball offers and just gets mad about it. And so now everybody just pokes the bear every once in a while. You know,
that's funny.
His collection, put together $100 worth of cards and offer him $30 for it just to watch him tweak out on video the next day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is like people will try to take advantage of you for like you're hardly making anything at all. It's like it's the business side of it is always so tricky because like wouldn't you like to be able to just like give somebody a really good deal, especially if it's like a kid or something like that? I'd love to like give deals on like cards if it's like somebody who's young, somebody who's like
for sure
10-year-old or something like that. It's like
new collectors.
Yeah, exactly.
I take boxes of stuff to shows for new collectors and they're giveaways. They're free. Here, take the box.
Yeah, but there's a reality with it. It's like if you're not making anything at all, then you're just doing a bunch of work for free, and that doesn't feel good. That's not a good exchange. And then it gets down to like for me with that kind of stuff, there's like the fundamentals of business, like where I have to like, this is what I have to do, and this is how I have to do it. Otherwise, it's not fun, like it's just because we want to have fun in the hobby, right? We don't want to like struggle in the hobby. Part of being a part of community is you want to have a community that you can have fun with too. I think that's the other thing that maybe we haven't really talked about as much is the point of being in a community, leading a community, being a part of a community, contributing community is you can all have fun together. Yeah. It's like in the moment that you're not having fun, that's where like, it can be because you got some bad apples around, or maybe it's your mentality with it. But, I think that's a part of it too, is like the whole point of the hobby is to have a good time. And, yes, we're here to make money. Like, I mean, it's my primary source of income right now. Feel very blessed to say that. And I've been doing pretty well with it this last year. God willing, it will continue that way. But I do think that it will not continue that way if I all of a sudden take it super seriously, not enjoy myself, keep a serious tone. I will say this, like I've had shows where I just like, I'm not in a good mood, and I know I'm not in a good mood. And I think it comes across in the show. And I think my sales are down. Like, and then I'll look back the previous day and I'll be like, man, I was in a bad mood. That kind of soured the whole grapes of the whole thing. And then I had a much better show the next day because I realized, it's time to pick yourself up a little bit and, bring the entertainment, bring the thing that people come to you for every morning. You got to show up. I think that's the other thing too, is you got to show up the best you can every single time you run a show. And, we're not always going to do it perfectly. We're not always going to be the most entertaining. You don't have to be. But if you're yourself and you just give it your best every time, I think that's another way that it's hard to fail. It's hard to fail with that.
And you brought up a good point. It should be fun. It's the whole premise of this podcast. Collect what you love. Collect what you enjoy. Don't collect something because somebody says it's worth this much money. Collect what you love, right? I mean, dude, and Justin has mentioned this on stream before to me. I mean, it's, there are a lot of folks out there that you'd rather not Prozac.
I don't be on Prozac. I don't even know what that would be like. I don't think I want to find out. I don't want to find out.
And Keith, hit me up. We'll talk. No, but it does come back to the enjoyment of the hobby. And if you're not enjoying it, it shows. And if I wake up I woke up some days and been like, if I go on stream this morning, people are going to get the lesser 50% of me. And that's not why people get on my streams. I mean, my wife had that accident a week and a half, a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't stream at all for a week and a half. And people were missing it. They told me this morning, but I can't. If there's so much going on that I can't focus on what I'm doing, if I can't bring what I normally bring, I can't go on stream. It's lesser of myself, and people have expectations when they come on. They expect me to be positive and putting it all out there. And if I can't do that, then I won't do that.
And you can tell too when people are just take it personally. I think that's the other thing too. Here's another little pointer: is you get cooked on something, don't take it personally. You make a decision. We all make bad decisions sometimes. We sell a card. We're like, we're gonna try to sell this card. I know it's like you were saying before the stream even started, like a 50, or maybe during the stream, like a $50 card. I'm gonna try starting it for $3 and I get $6 for it. That's on you, But don't take it personally that you didn't get $50 for it. It's not personal.
No.
Who knows? Like you might have 50 people in your room and it just so happens that all of them were not paying attention at the same time. It's mathematically possible that all the people that are active buyers on your stream are currently occupied with different things that are happening. One might be going to the bathroom. One might be like ordering a Starbucks. One might be driving and they can't really swipe,
At work.
And if you have you'll have like 5 or 6 active bidders in your stream and you throw that card up and then some people I've actually had this happen where somebody's like, shoot, man, I was really wanting to bid on this and my Wi-Fi cut out, these kinds of things happen too. So it could have just been like it was just a bad luck. It was bad luck. Things can happen. And I think, it's like, you gotta have a good attitude with this. I think it helps, to kind of have a buoy in these kinds of situations where like you lose a little bit of money or you're taking a hit like the whole show or something like that.
There it is, John.
Had those shows sometimes.
W's in the chat.
Oh my God. Yeah. I won't ever do that. Actually, the only times I've ever done that has been ironically, but like, I'll actually tell people to drop L's in the chat or something like that.
When the Gibby Goblin comes out every once in a while, I've heard that tone, but it's always in the Goblin voice.
I actually stopped doing that. I don't know why. I put the card away. Maybe I should bring it back. I don't know.
Send it to me. Let me do it. I'll do it for a while. If you want to put it on loan to me.
It's pretty funny. I actually put him in the drawer. I put him in like, I have like this memories drawer. I put him in the drawer for a little bit. We'll see. Maybe I'll get him back out.
That's hilarious.
I have this Gibby Goblin card that's like,
it's amazing.
Get yourself in the Gibby. Come on.
There's the voice.
What's the Gibby? What's the Gibby?
It's so stupid. Stupid. But that's the thing. Like, you can't take this thing too seriously. The moment you do, then you're kind of cooked in a way. But there are people that take it super seriously and they have a following. There's that community too. That's just my personal opinion, is I don't want to take it too seriously. But there's going to be some people that are like, I know a couple streamers where they're like super analytical. They sound like was that guy from like the 80s who had like the monotone voice? And who am I thinking of? He had like this voice where he would do this, and he was like a teacher or something like that. Oh, he was the teacher from Ferris Bueller, right? Or something.
Oh, heck,
trying to remember the dude. Anyways, but yeah, so they have like a voice like that, but then somebody asks for a prospect, like a deep cut prospect, and 2 seconds later, Ben Stein, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll have like 2 of their cards like right in front of you, and I'm like, that's impressive. That's not my show at all. Like I'll tell people, like, you ask me for a prospect, half the time, like I'll remember where one was, or it'll just literally be the next card. Sometimes it happens that way, but that's not me. Like, but the people that need that surgery, they need to just get in, get the card they want, and then zip out. That's where they can get that. So it's like you gotta build up your thing, whatever your thing is. You can find the people that'll help you do the things you want to do in the industry, and that's what it all comes down to. I think that's the wrapping it up of like community. Is like community is a fun way to contribute in a meaningful way to what it is that your goals in the hobby, and also help other people to meet their goals, and also have some fun along the way, build some meaningful friendships along the way, and, just make it a more rewarding experience for everybody.
Agreed. I think it's a great wrap up.
Yeah.
Which now brings us to our favorite part of the show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about, look what I found. It's our favorite segment. Look what I found. And we're gonna do our usual sharing of a couple of items that we enjoyed finding in our collections, and tell a little story about them. Joe, you want to kick us off?
I will. So as a Yankees fan, one of my favorite Yankees fans of all time. I've been a big fan of catchers for a long time. Never played catcher. Can't really tell why I enjoy catchers. I think it's amazing that physically they can stay crouched down in that position for as long as they do and throw the ball the way. It's an extremely complex position, managing pitching, the whole 9 yards. But Yogi Berra, and I love the Topps Turkey Red set, and the fact that it's got an image of Yogi Berra balancing his catcher's mask on his nose, to me, is just absolutely amazing.
Did he actually used to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that an actual photo or like what?
No, that Turkey Red's an illustration with
okay.
it's then painted set, but he actually used to be able to balance his catcher's mask on his nose,
That's funny.
circus style, which is just. But that's Yogi Berra. I mean, the things that he said, his quotes. I mean, he's a national treasure in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
and he will always be a favorite of mine. And I like the Topps Turkey Red set. I like the illustrated Artie, the Turkey Red, the Allen and Ginter, Gypsy Queen. I love those sets. Always have. Probably always will.
Yeah.
How about you?
What are you gonna do first? Here we'll do this. I just like the design of this. I thought Leaf. People crap on the Leaf stuff a lot. I actually think the Leaf stuff, they have really good designs, and actually the quality control I think of Leaf is actually pretty freaking high. Like you notice a lot fewer print lines on their cards. In general, the condition's better, and I just think this is a cool design. Like, if that had the official licensing on it, I don't know. I think that'd stand up to pretty much anything that Panini would put out. Like, I like how much it pops, like the 100 on there too.
Yep.
And the die cut's sick.
Who is that?
Benj.
Okay, Carson Benj.
Yeah, pretty sick card, anyways. But
yeah, dude. And Leaf, I think, has better quality control in both Panini and Fanatics, to be honest with you, because the quality control for Bowman and Topps lately has been garbage. And Panini, we won't even talk about Panini football the last couple of years. Their gem rates have been absolute A-double-S.
Oh God, like so many cards from this last 2 years actually. I'll buy them, and then now I've gotten to the point where I'm really looking for the print lines and things like that, because the print lines are so bad on so many of the color, like the color variations and the numbered stuff, that it's like it's really like, I don't understand how they don't get like sued in some kind of way for that, like it feels like the process is so poor, like that it's like, how do they have any customers? How do they, for the cost, it's like, shouldn't you guys be like doing this Q&A and eliminating the cards that have the print lines? Shouldn't you be taking those out of circulation? I don't know.
I'm writing that down as a topic for either next week or the following. Quality control, card quality, because that would be a good discussion to have.
I think so too. I think so too. Well, what you got next for us?
My second card, and I just got this today from a friend of mine, Josh Smith. Smitty collects on the W, but we did a trade for some things that he's looking for. I love the Sporting News design. I love Mickey Mantle, and that's out of 25.
That's sick.
Absolutely beautiful card, and it's got it's out of the Topps Bazooka set.
Oh, okay.
I also love, just from my childhood back in the day, but the fun facts on the back about the players and that sort of thing. I don't know. I've always loved the Bazooka sets, and it's Mickey Mantle. I mean, who doesn't love Mickey Mantle, the best switch hitter of all time?
Yeah, that's a filthy card there. Dig it.
Pretty awesome. I like it. I doubt it's ever going anywhere, to be honest.
I'm going to share now. I'm going to share a couple of my finds from like the National this last weekend. Here's one card that I found. Now I'm on the active lookout for these, because I think people tend to undervalue them. So when I saw this, it kind of really popped out at me. This Mike Trout. This is the Project 2020, designed by, who was the artist? F. Dot.
Yep.
F. Dot. So first off, it's just a pretty sick card, right? These 2020s, like, again, you can usually get them at pretty good prices depending on who's selling them. Also, I noticed that the case was like kind of flawless. Still got the wrap there, but if you're noticing something there, it's got an artist auto on it.
Yep. Signed
by the artist. And this was like just like a no-brainer to me when I saw that. I was like, ooh, that's a nice one. Like, yeah, I've gotten lucky in a couple of ways. Like I bought a ton of these Project 2020s during the pandemic, and one time I actually got a rainbow foil mailed to me. I got a Ricky Henderson rainbow foil numbered to 70. But I bought probably like 50 or 60 of them, if I had to guess. I mean, I don't know what the like, how lucky that is, but yeah, I've gotten kind of lucky with that. I've sent a couple of them off to grade. Unfortunately, the Ricky 9'd, but I have a Shohei that 10'd. So like, I'm pretty happy to have that one. But yeah, I think those are really cool cards, and I think they are still undervalued to a certain extent.
Again, that goes back to the artwork and the designs on those. I love it because they're completely different. They're not just photo variations. They're actually people's work, and their interpretation of what either their previous card should look like, or whatever it is. But the artist interpretations of them are really cool.
Yep. Final card for you.
Final card for me. This card, actually, I procured for a friend. I don't do football, but I have a pretty good friend he's a good friend who collects this person in particular. And is somebody who doesn't dislike the wild cards, which I like the designs of. I think the wild cards are cool as can be. This friend of mine is a diehard Bears fan, and it's a Caleb Williams 3 out of 3. And this will be headed its way to you, sir.
Hey!
So I picked this up for you. I saw this and I was like, holy crap, that's a Caleb Williams 3 out of 3.
That's cool, man. No. I was like, you're not talking about me, are you? Like, that's great. That's a great
I'm talking about you.
That's a great card, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. It's a cool card, man. I was like, I don't even care. It's 3 out of 3, whatever, but it's out of that wild card draw set. It's a cool card.
Yeah. I actually have I probably got like 200 Caleb Williams cards at this point. I don't think I have that one though. So I'm excited to add that to the collection. I'm excited.
Bonus.
Sweet. Yeah. Oh, so my last thing is not a card. It's another thing that I found at the show. And
here it comes.
We're not going to talk about how much I paid for it, but
here it comes.
But here's I ended up picking this up. This is a ball from you see Tigers 1909. It's a World Series ball. Now, I don't think it's from the actual World Series, but it says Detroit, Pittsburgh on it, and it's got the score of the World Series in there. It's got the dates of the World Series. Now, it says on the ball, it says World's Series, which is how that's what they called it back in 1909. Took it to a table. The guy said that the stitching looks right. It's authentic to the era. The ink on the ball looks like it was actually written with a fountain pen versus like a ballpoint pen or anything like that. I don't really know much about it other than that. I think it's like a cool fan ball. I think it was a homemade fan souvenir is what our best guesses are. Me and the folks that I've shared it with so far. I'm going to see what I can find out about it, but these are the kinds of things that you can attract into your life in this wonderful hobby. I think one of the things that I have been very blessed with is some luck when it comes to this kind of stuff. So like, these kinds of things, these are the things like acquiring this ball is something I'm going to remember 20 years from now. I get a feeling, just like,
what 2 players were featured in that World Series, John?
Oh, Honus Wagner and Ty Cobb.
Oh, only. Yeah. Just those 2.
It actually has Cobb written on the ball somewhere. It's not his auto, but it's somebody wrote like it's you Cobb. It's like back then they used to say like, oh, you Cobb, you freaking hit the home run and did the thing. It's just it's funny. But this is
amazing.
Potentially a piece of baseball history. I don't know. I'm gonna find out more about it. But that was like my big jump up and down kind of excited. Other people were jumping up and down excited for me when I picked it up. So, and there was one person that was a little like, man, you got it, didn't you?
I was jumping up and down from 550 miles away when you sent me the pictures. I was like, oh my God, look at that.
Yeah, I kind of couldn't believe it. I was like, oh man, I didn't think I'd be getting that at the show. But hey, this is again, there are so many cool things. Here's the other thing I want to say to anybody is like, not to say that that might not be that big a deal. That ball might not be a big deal, but like I will say, just a heads up to everybody out there. You think that you're late to the show and everybody's gotten to the booths and there's nothing for you to find. It's like, I think I got that like at the end of day 2 of the show, and this ball had been
out there for everyone.
Yeah, the ball had been presented to a bunch of people too. That's actually how I first found out about it. He was passing it around to a bunch of people. And then I wandered around. I was like, just started talking him up and tried to figure out if he was interested in selling it. And we figured something out. So, and that was that. But anyways, that's how I don't mean to show off or anything like that. It's just kind of fun.
Dude, flex if you got it, brother. Whatever, man. That ball is sick. That ball is absolutely
It's a
amazing.
sick ball. So I'm going to figure out what the deal is with it, whether I want to keep it or want to sell it or whatever. You know, does it belong in a museum? Is it not that impressive? Who knows? Who freaking knows? But that's it. That's all. I think that's all we got for today, guys. You know, this has been a fun show. Thank you. We've had a very active chat today. I think this is like one of our most active chats ever. Thank you for giving us the grace. We had to take a week off, but we'll be back again next week.
Active community.
And just a little shout out to where you can find us in the meantime. You can also, we both have channels on the different things, but you can also find us on Talking Cardboard Live on Instagram. And also we have a Patreon, and we're hoping to hit this first goal that we have with Patreon is to hit 10 paid members in our Patreon. If you join our Patreon, it helps support what we do. We actually pay a monthly subscription fee to host this platform, to host the show. We'd like to just like get to a point where we break even with it, so that then we can kind of build up from there and do lots of cool stuff, build this community that we're creating here on the YouTube channel. Hopefully we can build it up to a point where we can do super chats and all that stuff, and bring in lots of cool guests, and also run, which is our first goal, is like when we hit 10 subscribers, we're going to start doing a monthly Givey show where we just invite the people who are paid members of our community to come, and we will just give you free cards. How does that sound? Does that sound cool?
Who doesn't like that? Cards, right?
Who doesn't like that? Free stuff. Sign you up, right? Well, anyways, that's all I got for today. Joe, any closing words before we wrap this show?
Appreciate y'all. Be kind. Have a great week. You know, be an active part of your communities. Be supportive. Augie, thinking about your brother. Hope the benefit goes well tonight. Still talking to Smitty about other stuff, but the rest of you, thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of our community tonight and showing us support and love. We appreciate all of you for showing up and hanging out with us tonight. You could have been anywhere. You chose to hang out with us, so we appreciate you.
Much love, everybody. Have a fantastic
Have a great one.
night. Have a good one.